Donkey Kong Bananza is out now for the Nintendo Switch 2, and a lot of people are already talking about it as a game of the year, but is that what I think about it? Let's go. Yes, this was a big game with a lot of question marks around it that we were all looking forward to for the Nintendo Switch 2. A lot of people questioning why Nintendo chose to launch the system with Mario Kart World and not Donkey Kong Bananza. The demos that we had back a few months ago with the Nintendo Switch 2 experience were pretty fun, but it's a very difficult game to kind of wrap your mind around if you only get snapshots, if you only jump in and bash through some environments, because although that is a key ingredient in the gameplay from start to finish in this title, there is a lot going on with this game. First of all, it's made by team members that worked on Super Mario Odyssey, so you can feel that pedigree as you're whipping around as Donkey Kong with Pauline on his shoulder. It does feel incredibly playful to sort of just test the systems and bash not only the environments, but also walking up to some of the different characters, some of the NPCs, and interacting with them, and also toggling some of the challenges that happen on the fly, and some of them that you activate by bashing on a barrel and then diving into the challenge to find bananas, because that's what the whole story here is. I love that the way that this game starts out is your objective is find bananas, and that's what you're doing. You're just going from stage to stage, from micro mission to micro mission, and collecting as many bananas to get the banana energy that will activate all of the bonanzas that give you all of these cool extra powers that are tied to these different animal variations that you accumulate along the way. And so what you're doing in the game is you're diving deep into sub-levels. You're chasing this villain named Void Kong, who has amassed a little collection of bad guys that you will encounter again and again as the adventure unfolds. But the boss fights are not really the story. The story of this game is the adventuring and exploration that you get to do. This is a game experience quite unlike any other in the Nintendo universe, although it borrows liberally from titles like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, little Super Mario Galaxy kind of remnants in there as well. But that whole mechanic of bashing through everything, it evokes Minecraft, it evokes Dig Dug. I was talking with Lee from P&P Games, and he mentioned that Knuckles from the Sonic universe, it would have been awesome to have Knuckles do something like this, and he's so right about that. It really changes things up gameplay-wise, because on the fly, you are affecting the geometry, and you are just bashing through walls and diving and digging into tunnels and creating giant caves and caverns for you to explore, and you're always finding treasure chests and the prerequisite bananas, and also apples that will give you a little boost of health, and you're helping some of the NPCs with some of their missions and objectives. You're destroying poison pods, you're trying to change some really dangerous weather systems that might be affecting one of these sublevels, and each of these sublevels gives the designers a little bit of a different art style to kind of lean into as well. And so there's some moodiness, there's some tropical vibes in this. I think my favorite level in the game is this hamburger-themed amusement park with a roller coaster and a Ferris wheel. It's amazing. But there's lots of inventiveness and creativity all the way along. This is really a beautiful showcase for the power of the Nintendo Switch 2, because there is so much devastation, so much destruction. It's kind of like taking some of the flying materials of Astro Bot and Ratchet and Clank games and sort of cranking the knob to 11, because you just cannot believe all of the voxel generated art that's flying around as you're bashing through walls and obstructions and just blasting away at some of the bad guys that will pounce on you and stuff. It's chaos. It's utter chaos. And honestly, the camera struggles a little bit sometimes to keep up with the madness. You struggle a little bit. I did. Especially because I was playing the game in handheld mode. I got the code as I was coming back from Europe, and so playing this game on the flight home, it made the flight go much faster, and it was super fun to escape into it. But I have to tell you, it was a little bit difficult for me to comprehend all of this visual madness that I was looking at on the smaller screen. This is really a game meant for sitting at home on a big screen television, sharing it with somebody else, because there is a co-op mode as well, where they can just sort of destroy elements around you and with you as you're playing. But there's so much chaos and craziness on screen that it really benefits from having a larger display to kind of see everything run. And honestly, it runs very well. There are little moments of slowdown, you know, when there's tons and tons of debris flying all over the place and lightning might be going off and things. Sometimes it will sort of chop for a second, but Nintendo was pretty upfront that that might happen from time to time. And it didn't really kind of break the experience or the gameplay. You're just kind of in awe that all of this stuff is happening at the same time. And I think that might be one of the challenging elements with showcasing this game for other people. Like when you play Breath of the Wild or show it off to somebody, or Super Mario Odyssey and you show it off to somebody, there's some crazy stuff in both of those titles, but there is this openness to it and a spaciousness to it, using iconography that we're all very familiar with. Donkey Kong, it kind of, even though this is a character and a beloved character, and there are echoes of the Rare games in here and echoes of the retro games in here, this is kind of like carving out a new category. Even though Nintendo has done this 3D action adventure platformer style gameplay many times before, we haven't had this mobility, this speed, and this kind of functionality before, where you're really just determining what the end result of the level is going to look like after you've finished all of your madness, after you've pulverized everything. It's going to look very different than from when you started. And man, it's so compulsive to just bash everything, because you know Nintendo has buried secrets everywhere, and you do pick up maps and things like that to kind of help you find everything, but there are bananas everywhere, there are coins everywhere, there are power-ups everywhere, and of course the currency in the game allows you to customize your look a little bit. But man, this game is beautiful, it's charming, it's fast, and also extraordinary is the music that accompanies everything. There are echoes of previous Donkey Kong themes in the game. You collect records, and music is a big part of it because Pauline is always singing to help Donkey Kong transform into these different animal creations, an ostrich, a zebra that can run super fast. You can sort of power up and armor up Kong so he's a tougher ape, which is really fun. The ostrich can hover for a little bit. Super fun to get these Bananza powers, and collecting the different currencies that are in the game is addictive as well. There's a lot of gold that you're finding, and so your eyes, at least my eyes, are like, whoa, that's shiny. Let's go over there and let's bash all of that and collect all that gold so I can spend it here or use it as part of your Bananza powers. So, I mean, the game is delivering on a ton of different levels. It is ridiculously fun. It is ridiculously fresh and inventive, even though Nintendo has tread in this territory with other titles many times before. This feels different, and it feels superb, and it's an excellent kind of out of the launch canon for Nintendo Switch 2. It's another showcase game for why people made the leap to this console, and it's impressive as hell. I personally don't think it's as good as Super Mario Odyssey. I still preferred the way that it jumped from genre to genre, in addition to all of these different worlds that we went to. The look of everything completely changed, but we also went to 2D and bounced to 3D. It was the tip of the hat to the eras of Mario, and there was lots of connections to the vibe of the Galaxy games as well. So I prefer Super Mario Odyssey, and this is still not going to supplant The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild as my favorite Nintendo game, but it's excellent, and it's a must-play, and it's a must-pick-up if you have the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to give Donkey Kong Bananza a 9 out of 10.